Hello and welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Legend Series. It's only day one and we've already had some pretty good Counter-Strike, mostly from Outlaws. Everybody else has been a little lackluster, but now we might see a competitive game. It's the losers bracket match. The loser of this obviously gets eliminated. FTW versus AYB. I'm joined by Nero. Hey man, how you doing?
Hey, hopefully I won't lag out anymore because it looked really weird when my face was stopped on the screen, really. But yeah, AYB right there against FTW.Evo, as you mentioned. Normally AYB would be coming into this one as a favorite, but both the teams had horrible runs against their enemies initially. So that makes us think maybe that this should be an evened out match. But I don't really know. But for me, still AYB is the favorite. I don't know. What do you think? Do you have any thoughts on that, Jamie, yourself?
Wow, you've put me on the spot, haven't you, here, Nero? I don't actually know because obviously we haven't really seen both of these teams really go at it. We saw them just both get crushed in their respective games. 16-4, 16-2. What can you really say about that? It's like you don't see the best of either team, do you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing, and Outlaws also already preparing themselves out there, asking how many matches they have, when do they have to play again. And for both these teams, it's a very distant dream, I think, right now, to be able to reach the finals out there, to face off against Outlaws, really. Right now, they're trying to beat each other out, and then they realize that probably when they go against Squared Esports, it's already going to be a little bit too much for them. And then they would have to be Outlaws too. And in the Legend Series right here, only the top one team in the group goes out to the online playoffs first of all, and then we just try to get two teams for the offline playoffs. But that's the thing. You only get any kind of prize money to begin with for the first place in your group. And then if you end up being third and fourth, it's still very little, actually. So it's going to be quite tough for both FTW and AYB. It might be that this match does not hold any meaning whatsoever if Squared once again go 16-4 in just a moment, right?
Yeah, what you're saying is really poignant is that both of these teams, neither of them have a clear-cut way out of this losers match, and this isn't the hardest match that they're going to face to actually win this, because obviously second place doesn't matter, third place doesn't matter, like fourth place definitely doesn't matter. It's only first that counts, as we've been saying all evening. But remember, like let's say AYB way of like actually winning this, they've got to play FTW, and then they've got to play Squared, which is a harder match, and then they've got to play Outlaws, which is a near off impossible match. It's like a Mario fight where you got the boss battle and then you got the final boss battle, which is it's just, this isn't going to happen for them, is it?
Yeah, all right. So I'm already getting the server info, and I can already see that it's probably going to be Cobblestone. So a little bit of experience on this map already for the German team, although not so pleasant one, right?
Yeah, not a great experience at all. They've had experience being absolutely decimated on this map today, and this probably isn't going to be that same 16-2-esque scoreline like we saw earlier. I think that this is probably going to be a lot more tightly contested.
Okay, Stadodo, definitely looking forward to seeing him play more of that AWP of his, because that seemed like it had quite a bit of potential. RRO, he was pretty much lurking there in the connector on train a lot of time, but was very rarely able to do much. But Worms, most importantly, he was always good under the pressure. So whenever he was left alone, like MNL would on AYB, and he would be crushed then completely until the very end, usually. Then if just in single, if Worms is left in such a situation, he'll probably do better. So I'm guessing that possibly these 1v1s might go very well for FTW in this matchup, and that makes me kind of counter my statement that normally AYB should be the favorites going into this one. I just don't really know what to expect, and especially since both Dixon and Stadoda can off, this is a good map for them to double off, really. But so was Train, wasn't it?
Yeah, like obviously we haven't seen either of these teams yet. Like we've seen them take 6 rounds between them. It's like you cannot judge how good a team is on the day or in the map or just in general based off of them winning 2 rounds or 4 rounds. It's just they're playing higher caliber of opposition, but obviously Outlaws is better opposition. We've just seen that on Cash in the winners match that they just played. And so maybe maybe FTW, maybe that's something counting against them, that they played a comparatively worse team and took more rounds. I don't think that there's any sort of balance there. I don't think that we've had any statistics that matter yet.
Now we are, everybody warming up, and we're just waiting for one more player from AYB in order to be able to start with the matchup. And as you say, we just want to really see these teams doing what they're capable of. It's no fun really watching them getting crushed completely. No matter what they do, they're just like squirming maybe on the ground right there, trying not to die as soon as possible out there. But in this matchup, it will be a chance for them to show off. But what I'm afraid of is that we're waiting for that moment that they will start to shine, but maybe they'll show off how bad teams they both are after not really being motivated, possibly after the 2 first losses that they had right there. But I don't know, I just feel like I'm sounding a little bit too negative today, but that's the picture that we got this far.
So you're saying that very likely we're going to have a game where just nothing happens and nothing goes right and just absolute... I don't know if there's any PG way to say it. What I wanted to say, I don't think I can say.
Maybe not that it's going to be a game where nothing really works out and it's just going to be a clown fiesta right here of mistakes, but something along the lines of that long match that you know doesn't really matter. You know that you're not watching good Counter-Strike, but it just lasts long and it just goes to overtimes because the team
neither team can close it out, right? Neither team can get ahead, but I don't think that we're watching that bad caliber of play. Like even at matchmaking, you get like really good matches with like high-ish level, but this is definitely not matchmaking. This is a pistol round of a professional tournament, and AYB already taking that pistol round. That was really convincing, right?
Yeah, that was definitely really convincing. Unfortunately, we're missing quite a couple of kills out of this one, but of course, everything happens simultaneously, and AYB quite proficient with the pistols. That I think that we've already known that a little bit. We had a little bit of a sign that they would be good with these pistols whenever they would win against rifles with pistols, right? So now comes a chance for FTW to do what they've done in their match on Train, really, because they also were able to shine with the Tech 9s.
Yeah, they definitely were, and that was one of the few rounds that they took earlier. So perhaps with the 5 Deagle setup in full armor, apart from Stad, who obviously wants that AWP. So it's good to see FTW, considering the economy game, realizing that, yeah, we need an AWP on Cobblestone and not investing into body armor on all 5 of their players. I want to see the AWP out early on Stado.
Dixon has to jump away right there. All of them with the Deagles surely looking big, but how much can they really get out of that? RO actually down to 47 already. QK Mantis, though, had a good run in the pistol too, finding some headshots for himself. He's the only one playing with a FAMAS, and Asmo's the only one playing with an SMG. All the rest have M4s already on the lineup with AYB, so they're also not saving up too much, really.
Oh, that was a meaty headshot. Dixon finding the first, and here we go. FTW straight onto the A site, and NKY missing as well. So finally hits that headshot. Dixon, that could have been a second for him, but the bomb coming into B now. AYB need to shut it down, and it's headshots galore for these Deagles, but can they really be expected to finish this one off? No, Savvy chips in, and FTW being shut down after their initial successes.
So AYB getting a good second round right here for themselves, and as I said, it's all the more important because they've spent all that money on this round. Now we are hopping into round number 3. It's going to be 2,000 for each player on FTW. They bought up the Deagles. Of course, it's a clean eco right here with a single flashbang, though. So would you expect that single flashbang to get them a bomb plant, really?
No, not on Cobblestone at least. I feel like AYB should be able to set this one down, and Xavi, yeah, he's taken a dink, but it's not actually that much damage, 39 HP still, and he's probably going to stay alive here. An absolute whitewash as FTW get slaughtered into this B site, and you see the crossfire is just too strong for AYB.
Okay. So 3-0, FTW will be going for a full buy right now, and this round will decide a lot because judging by the start, by the beginning of this map, AYB definitely are looking quite good. And yeah, indeed, they're putting themselves in that spot of a favorite maybe a little bit in here, but is it going to be fine for them to actually be in the spotlight, in the limelight right here? Are they not going to get stressed out a little bit?
It's aggressive play.
Yeah, way too aggressive.
Completely punished as well. This is that's an eco round strat right there, and they did it with full rifles, and FTW just mowed them down. The reason why it works with pistols is you can be super fast, you can get right in your face, you can find those aggressive picks really early, but with the rifles you don't have the same ability, and AYB just got crushed going for a gimmicky play, a matchmaking play.
Well, you were talking about the matchmaking just a while earlier, and maybe you cursed it a little bit, but also what I said, just them being in the spotlight might not be too good for them. They might have gotten overconfident by just winning 3 rounds already. This is... I don't really know how to look at it, because it wastes it completely. It throws away the advantage, but I feel like I can understand what their idea was. Just pin down FTW completely to the ground, break their economy once again so that they lose their will to actually even fight. But that's not what's happening.
3-1 is our scoreline. FTW finally getting on the board, but it felt like it was AYB's mistakes, not FTW like stepping up a level. AYB just walked into their crosshair, and when you're walking through one by one into a 4-man crossfire, you're obviously going to lose, and AYB just felt the full force of Cobblestone when you don't play it right.
AWP is there for NKY, and looking forward to performing with it definitely, because they never got a chance to really buy up a solid AWP and really set themselves up with it when they were facing off against their previous enemies here on Cobblestone. But so, as I said, I'm looking forward to some AWPing on FTW's side. But for now, they won't get a shot at it. The molly goes off and they will be running in. Dixon still losing half of his HP to it, and they can pull it out, but they still let Dixon through, and he gets the double so easily. What a spray down out there, but back to 3-on-3. Round's not yet over. MNL, I feel like he's getting quite a good position. Asno's being taken down, but they should realize he's got to be still inside of the site, but they don't pay attention to him at all. Bombs drop from behind. Xavi, can you finally actually join the fight at the right moment? Finally get some good time, not allowing Worms to focus on MNL completely. With a
this is such an important Molotov. Gonna bait Xavi out, but just stands in the flames, finds the shot, and here comes the pause. FTW not happy about that one, apparently. They've been fully reset. They've got barely any money. They've got pretty much nothing to speak of. They've got to either go for full force or full eco. There's no in between here. And AYB, this is a prime position to gain your money, to start rolling with the economy.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know, this was just such a good round for MNL, surely, and the question is, can he continue like that? NKY with the AWP, can't really sum it up just yet. It's a little bit too early to really talk too much about, but MNL, he was usually the guy that was left alive alone, and the other guy left alive right here was Xavi, who somehow seemed to have backstabbed his teammates in the previous matchup, so I was quite scared, and Xavi actually did peek a little bit late, but then still did manage to distract Worms enough. And then he still got the kill before the mollies killed him, so he did not put all the burden on the shoulders of his teammates, so I guess that's fine. I guess they're starting to build themselves back up, and maybe it was just the first map of the day. Maybe they just weren't warmed up enough competitively, and that's what they needed here, especially as this is the same map that can help them so much. And next time they go up against Outlaws, they will be ready.
And AYB, they've really got to hold on to this one. Obviously, these pistols can be deadly, but against full rifles, they shouldn't pose that much of a threat, especially on Cobblestone, which features so many long-range engagements. These pistols shouldn't be able to thrive in these positions, especially with the new update, removing lots of running and gunning. Here come the smokes, and here we go, AYB. A good opportunity to gain a lot of bank here, and it's going to be Mantis on top. Oh, is he actually being spotted out? They're shooting towards him, but not finding anything. Here goes the bomb down. And FTW haven't conceded any players just yet. Losing players thick and fast is AYB, as they only chip 2 back in return. There's the third. But AYB, this was their position to gain economy, not to be stuck in a 2v2.
No, although Worms is down to 20 HP, but he's picking up a UMP-45, so he can still be dangerous at some point. Gets a good position for himself, and nice right through that alley. Would. Right. Now he'll be trying to find another one, but Dixon is taking him out. MNL, can he defuse this bomb, actually? Oh, right at the edge of the boom.
No!
Gets it! And
Oh, no.
And Dixon picks up an M4, but that's just a consolation prize. He's gotta be real unhappy about what's happened right now.
Oh my lord, that's one of the worst things I've ever seen. He was centimeters away but couldn't land the shots, trying to jump up and find it, but not putting enough bullets across. And maybe before the update, maybe yesterday he would hit that when the Tech 9 has more spray and bait prey capability. But today, it's 3 times less accurate and he misses the shots. Dixon, you've got to be devastated.
That's true. Now, MP9 and QK Mantis, this is about racking up the money, right? But it didn't work out in the previous round. He just had such a good position, but he still wound up dying. As you said, a lot of people in AYB disappointed, but it surely wasn't the man that defused the bomb, right?
Yeah. And to win a round in that sort of catastrophic fashion. You see FTW just walking into the crossfire, but NKY missing so many shots, a smattering of which. I think they were expecting an eco here. That's why they've got the MP9 and the UMPs. AYB, obviously, with barely any money as well. Bomb dropped in Mantis. They know that he's on this side. Just got a pinch from him now. He's got barely any HP, but finally Dixon takes him down. Zavit's stuck in a difficult 1v3, and it's not going to happen. Worm finds the headshot, connects with the bullets, 5-2.
5-2. Still not a bad scoreline, I'd like to say, for AYB out there, although they're running out of money, so they'll be just trying to push through a little bit on the pistols and trying to lay down some damage, that for sure. If they can get as many kills as FTW on the last round, then I guess they won't be unhappy about it, but this is highly unlikely, simply. Instead of finally having his hands on the AWP, it's real good to see. And already down to 17 HP after the first shot. But I'm still looking forward to a possibility of maybe double upping for FTW here.
Yeah, I want to see the double up setup, definitely. But so far, they haven't really needed it to gain these rounds. Instead, it's been the run and gun, it's been the pistols, it's been doing so much damage with the secondary weapons that they've barely used the primary. And AYB finally back to ecoing, finally with just a couple of pistols, the armor as well, minimal investment in FTW. This is their chance to run away with some points.
Well, everybody not looking so happy right now with that 17 points to help one of their players with the 5-7s. Indeed, some of them have some good positions, like Inko up close right here, but what can you actually really do? If he pushes down right now, so that could have been caught off guard, but instead, yeah, instead of going to squad, really done his battle down to 19. AK-47 is captured, and what can KY do with it now? The rest of his teammates will not be of much use, and when he just started that doing anything, the round's pretty much over. So on long range, Xavi's as good as dead. MNL is going to try to follow it up. He's going to try to use the distraction that Xavi does to actually kill somebody off. But FTW have so much more when they were playing with tech lines. They got the bomb planted, killed off everybody on the CT side.
AYB just setting up for a couple of exit frags here, seeing if FTW are going to make some really critical mistakes, but don't think it's going to happen. I think that this is going to be a pretty easy, stable round, and yeah, MNL has snuck as well to the side, but it's only to try and get one of these exits. It's not going to work out. 5-3, and 4 players alive for FTW is a really big factor because it means that they can actually start gaining this money. You can see they've got 5,000, 7,000 between them, lots of cash. And that's only going to grow in this round when AYB have have less investment.
Okay, then 5-7 stay for some of the players, and AYB probably will have to.
And AYB, just the same pistol setup again. It's just the same, not going for any aggression. Sorry, I would prefer them to actually go aggressive and just find something. And just like that round that they tried, moving straight through into the courtyard, I would prefer them to do that again, but with the pistols. If they're gonna take any of these eco rounds, it's probably gonna be off the back of them getting lucky like that by catching the opponents off. But so far, it hasn't been happening. They've been playing running the same default time after time, and it hasn't actually been working. And they've conceded a lot of these eco rounds. The bomb goes down and we see the same old stuff. No kills at all for AYB, so they're not even chipping away at the economy. But saying that, NKY does. The Caster's Curse, take one. And FTW probably going to survive with 4 players here, since the AYB team aren't setting up very close for exits. Mantis is guessed incorrectly. They're all going towards connector. Nobody up towards long, towards pillar. They're not going for this one at all. And it's going to be 5-4. So this gap completely closed off, despite AYB's very strong start. Remember that they were 5-1 up at one point. So FTW getting into this game again early is really big, really great for them. That's exactly what we want to see. If you go back to the buys, it's pretty much a full buy from both teams. Great utility for FTW. These Molotovs are great for catching AYB out of position. So I would like to see them go for maybe a barrage of Molotovs onto the B site. Maybe this is something that would definitely catch AYB off. And a couple of these Molotovs are already being used, but they're not being used in a synchronized fashion. They're being used very sporadically, very spasmodically. They are just throwing everywhere. And AYB, they probably won't be caught off by this. Obviously, Xavi, he's lost a bit of health to the stray HE grenade, and really nothing else to call. And 30 seconds already been dissipated off this clock. FTW are about to make their way in, and it's an A-site push once again. And AYB, although they don't have anybody on this A-site, they've got perfect angles to really punish this one. They've got a great crossfire, and if they can actually get past these smokes, wait for them to dissipate, yes, the bomb might be down, but they're going to have players to the left, right, behind, in front, and NKY starts us off. Worms does trade it back. There's one for him, 4v4, but AYB, they've got to get back into this bomb site. And Justin, he might actually be the pincer. He's right close to this CT aggression. And AYB just slowing it down. LRO could have taken 2, but it's only the 1. A 3v2 now is AYB. They're crushing down on this defense. The T's, it's only Justin to speak of, and he was the pincer, I said, but he also goes down. MLN finds him, and that's 6-4. As FTW couldn't hold on. And remember, people might say, yeah, that's a 5v5 and it really favors FTW in that position, but AYB had such great afterplans with all 5 players alive that as soon as FTW looked one way, they had 2 other players on them. It was an absolute collapse onto the A site, and it would be the perfect push from a T side, but it's not often that you can get into those positions to actually collapse onto a site like that. Teams like Astralis commonly find themselves able to execute like that, and AYB again, just going for this same passive setup. They've had a very long-orientated setup on A as well, which is something that I've noticed like a lot of the time, committing a lot of players over here. But here comes the push over towards B. Xavi and MLL have to catch this one off and find this one. Slow with the AWP shot, but finally puts another one through the smoke. No kills connecting just yet, and this might be another 5v5 retake. This is crazy. I can't remember the last time I seen 2 back-to-back 5v5 retakes, apart from on a retake server. AYB finally losing a man at Xavi this time, but this time this is a much more difficult retake. FTW finally finding a couple of shots, but it's being traded back. 2v3 Mantis going to have to come up huge, but he's not able to do so. Amanor has to save, but he's not going to be allowed to do that either. Worms finding 1, 2, 3, all the frags. 6-5's our scoreline. We see this once again. It's just AYB having to force up, and if you look at their money, the Mag 7 here is just a spoiler. It's just to level out the money and make sure that NKY can go for a full buy next round, but nobody else is obviously buying because they haven't got enough money to waste in this one. Xavi also, it's just to level out the money, so this isn't a force or something that they need to win. NKY fully flashed up in a convincing, solid long take. FTW just crushed that defense there, and it was a lackluster defense. Only a Mag 7, and he did get fully flashed before the push came in, and Stado also finding one towards B. So it's only Xavi left. He's pincered in on the A site. Definitely could be the spoiler factor here. Could definitely find 1 or 2 if they don't check this angle, but they've got Molotovs. They should be able to work their way in, just throw one grenade in, and that's Dixon to find it. Xavi drops without finding anybody, and a very clean round from FTW, sorry, means that they're going to have 8,000, and that's the minimum amount of money that they've got. 6.5, 7.3, 8 and 11. This is nuts money right now for them. And 6-6 being the scoreline. AYB, like, they're not in a horrible position. They're not really struggling, but if you consider that they were 5-1 up and they've only taken 1 out of the last 6 rounds, that's a difficult position there. They've obviously not had anything rolling for them. The momentum is certainly not in their favor, and the 3 M4s now, that's all they've got really to clutch through a 7th round, and the first to 7 is probably going to have the momentum going into the rest of the half. I expect this is probably going to be an 8-7 half for FTW at this point. They've had such a dominant past couple of rounds by just crushing this AYB side, and you see AYB are a little more fluid. They don't really know where to stand. You see this Mag 7, it should be looking straight into dropper. It should be holding in a very close angle, but instead he's just prancing around like a horse on the B site. And what else can you say about that? 6-6 is our scoreline, and FTW are back to make the push onto B.
And Aspo is going to get quickly rolled out with a single headshot from Dixon out, but ML, just like Aspo in the previous match, he holds on to the Mag 7 and manages to take off 2 people actually. 1800 income is always something, but we're already closing into the ending of this first half. It will be real important for up and coming rounds real fresh, but let's see, this round might not yet be over. They might not be looking just to boost their losing income. They might be the ones to actually grab this round and take it. How's the totem misses first though? Take one down. That actually hits, and then he's able to take out the Tech 9 and finish off with a headshot. So 7th round for FTW, and yes, the Mag 7 kills are valuable. Just take a look at his economy. He's got 4,000 compared to the rest of the team who have at least 1,500 less.
And FTW, they've just been steamrolling ahead. 7 out of the last 9-10 rounds. is really all you need for a perfect T side, and it's really like the T side doesn't really matter anymore. This is just the cherry on the top, the icing on the cake. We have to look at their CT side, and can they just continue this lightning fast momentum and great form? And perhaps the answer is yes. They should be able to just hold this one down, but AYB doing minimal damage. The one, there's the second from Asmo, who salvaged that AK-47, but here comes the push. 3 versus 3, and they're all on this B-bomb site. FTW, maybe they've sniffed this one out and decided to go for the back rotation?
Well, ML again, falling back instantly. That has to be so important, but nothing yet happening. FTW deciding to abandon the cause and rotating over to bomb side where there's nobody there, which could be just such a great idea. Even if he face off against MNL, he's the only guy that's still left with a pistol. The rifles are all on B with Aspo just starting the rotation now. Can the bomb be planted actually? And oh, there's a quick headshot, and there's a rifle face off. So one disadvantage that I was talking about is completely mitigated instantly after, and Asmo ending this round with a quad kill combined. Can you believe it?
It's pretty nuts, isn't it? AYB really haven't had anything going for them in the past 10 rounds, really. Since they've took those initial 5, they really didn't have anything, like anything constructive to speak of. And now with no armor, just a salvage, picked up AK-47 off of a stray FTW member, finding the 7th round for them, and that could be the difference between winning and losing. Cobblestone often comes down to really close series like that.
Okay, 2 AWPs are there on the battlefield. Who's going to throw it down better? And overall, it's not NKY on the op this time around, it's QK Mantis. So Dodo, as always, to face off against it, but not as always necessarily. There was a second only a single is going to be charged with the AK, and successfully this one.
Let's go. This is the push straight onto A once again. AYB. They do have 2 players here. Now one is MNL. Burns in the flames. AYB. Oh, they've just been crushed once again. Maybe they just shouldn't buy Kevlar, because every time they have, I don't think that they've won a single round. It's just been a complete slaughter. FTW looking like a nice, strong half for them. As 8 rounds probably going to be posted. Mantis misses the 1 shot. And does hit the follow-up, but that's all she wrote as LRO peaks out 8-7, and FTW, that's phenomenal. If you just look at the scoreboard, look how yellow the last portion, the last half of the first half was. It was just them picking up rounds left, right, and center, and in the middle as well. AYB looking pretty weak, and if this if the conceding part of the CT half was, or their CT half was anything to speak of, this is likely just going to be a 16-9, 16-10 at this point, with FTW romping forward to play squared in just a few moments. FTW do find, oh, nice hat trick of frags from Justin. But he is being wrapped around on it. There's the 4th as well. Could be an ace, and it is. All the headshots, all gorgeous. And Justin shows us what he's made of. 9th round on the board for FTW. And Justin, somebody buy that guy a beer. That is a huge pistol round. And just in the context of the game as well, that's a massive, massive pistol round to win. It puts them in the driver's seat for the rest of this half. 5 Tech-9s though on AYB, and this is all they've got to their name right now, nothing else. And oh, NKY is going to use it to destroy Dixon and straight out onto B. They might actually take this one. AYB with these pistols, is this all they need? Surely not. FTW with a poor defense, and Cobblestone, oh, it's looked wide open for these pistols all day, hasn't it? LRO, the only man left against 5. How the hell did this happen? AYB, what are you talking about? We're going for the pause now. It's Justin calling it, possibly not very happy about conceding that round. But surely this isn't going to be a long one. Surely this can't also be a tactical one, because it's so early in the half to use your tactical pause. What could they even be talking about? I think that this is more than likely more technical, and just sorting out a TeamSpeak issue or just a quick little issue like that. And we'll see what happens. Both of these teams really just playing a very scrimmy style of CS right now. FTW, of course, they're going to buy straight back into this one. They've been so strong with pistols all day. In that match earlier against the 1 and 2 seeded opposition, they had a really strong showing. Once again in this match, they've just been showing up with the pistols, and that's maybe the difference maker in CS a lot of the time, whether you can take 1 or 2 pistol rounds. And maybe with the recent nerf, the nerf that literally came in last night, we were expecting less of these anti-ecos, or less of these ecos, sorry. But that's obviously not the case. Obviously Valve didn't do a good enough job. AYB, this is a good buy for them, and FTW's buy seems a little bit fragmented, looks a little bit all over the place, with Stado obviously favouring that AWP. This is what we say about him. We say that he needs that AWP in his hands, and that's why any one of these force buy rounds, he's always going to be the guy just with a USP, just with a Deagle at most. No Kevlar, no utility, minimal investment for him. And it like if we see his money, he's got $1,500. So this is the difference between them affording an AWP and them not affording an AWP. Dixon's the first to drop, but AYB, they're going to charge into this B bomb site, but it's all a matter of when. FTW along the other side of the map have gone for the information play. They are looking forth, and they should know that there's nobody towards A. It's going to be a solid B rush, but they don't seem to have it on lockdown. LRO missing a lot of shots, and it's only this Deagle. What can Justin do? Finds the first, just body shots, but needs the 1D, so he's going to clutch this one through. And Asmo does a ton of damage, 50 damage on him. And AYB are just pincering him on statue. They've lost a lot of health themselves and have to get onto this bomb site in the next 35 seconds, otherwise they're not going to be able to get this bomb down. But Justin, there's the statue threat eliminated. Worms does chip one back, but he's the only player left in. Hardly even an issue. He should be counted out of this round. A 3v1, nothing he can do. So he just backs off. Having a 5-7 is better than no 5-7, obviously, in the next round, and maybe just setting up for an exit. He wants to keep the AYB economy honest, and this is a sure way to do it, by holding down an angle where you haven't been seen all map. And this is possibly a sure way of taking a kill or two. AYB gonna waltz straight into this one. Worms, there's the first. They know his position now, but they're all around him. Is he really going to be able to get another one? Yeah, he does. So this is big damage from Worms. Taking 4 players in total. Yeah, he took 3, but FTW taking 4 players in total. Let's see how much money AYB have got right now. They've got 4,000 across the board, so not enough to go for the 2 or 3 buys that you would preferably want after winning the pistol round. FTW with just pistols once again. They like going for these full ecos. They love not really investing heavily into these eco rounds. A lot of the time you'll see Envious just buy after buy after buy, and they've done this for years and years now, since early 2014. But FTW and a lot of Western European teams now like to go for these ecos. It's not like the CIS region where they're just going to be buying and buying and buying. You'll see Quantum, who is playing, I think they're in Group B, so we'll see them this tournament. You will likely see force buy after force buy from them. We'll probably see some cobblestone from them as well, so ones to look out for in coming days. Worm's the first to drop, but AYB, they seem to have this map on absolute lockdown. They're taking it slowly, not getting too aggressive. Yep, they've been burnt by these pistols before, so once again, if they just play a more passive game this time, it could definitely work out for them. But against the rifles, against an AWP as well, FTW could definitely pick this one apart. And I was criticizing AYB after the second portions of the first half by saying that they looked extremely weak, they had no momentum, they had nothing going for them. And right now, they've really turned that theory on its head. They've been finding rounds all over the place. And have they even dropped one yet? They dropped one. They dropped the pistol round, obviously, but ever since then, it's just been yellow, 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 as they romp forth onto a 10-9 lead. And FTW going to just be holding back, not giving away. The reason why you do this is you don't want to give AYB that kill bonus. You don't want them getting any additional money, and also they can walk right into your pistols and you can salvage back an AK-47. If you play really aggressively with a USP or even with 2 or 3 P2000s, even if you do find a kill, it's so hard to get that AK-47 out of there. So if you're punishing aggression by playing passive, if you get a kill, yeah, you get that 300 loss bonus. You don't give away that 300 loss bonus, but you also have an AK-47 that is pretty much unreachable for the T side. It's a great way of punishing more amateur teams. And AYB, definitely not the most professional team in this tournament. Definitely not the favourites to take it overall. I know Legend Series isn't a void of big upsets. eSuba, of all teams, won the last Legend Series just in behind the lot. Does take one, but it's a brutal crossfire as FTW straight back in it, and that's just the round they needed. They're going to be able to gain so much money off the back of this. You see, they've got a nice 3,000 buffer, and because that win came in the first 20 seconds of the round, the first 20-30 seconds of the round, it means that they didn't spend all of those Molotovs, all of the smokes, so it's minimal investment from FTW as they're able to really gain, and that could be a catalyst for them to spark forth a CT lead here, and especially when Stado's on fire hitting AWP shots like that. Very aggressive. MNL getting aggressive towards the long as well, but it's all a ruse. Instead, AYB towards the B site. Should be able to pick this one open if FTW give them an opening. But you see, FTW, they're playing the gun rounds just like they play the pistol rounds. Passive, coordinated, comprised, compressed. And LRO, you see, going for picks like that, as soon as the Molotovs come in, he knows, right, there's a good chance that there's going to be somebody without a weapon peeking right now. So he goes for it, hits the headshot, nice, quick, very fast, and puts them another man ahead. It's a risk, but it's a positive EV risk. If they lose it, then you could say, yeah, it was bad, but it was the correct decision after all. And AYB, 3 versus 5. What can they even do? Maybe just breaking open this A site. But you see, Worms is so aggressive. He has this bomb all to his own, and Sado is going to annihilate this bomb, decimated. And AYB, this is almost a done deal now. They're 2 versus 5, but this bomb is in no man's land. They're going to have to take down Worms, who's in a compromising position, but it's going to be Sado instead to finish off the round. This is 5 men left, now 4 men left. FTW really building a great bank here. It's looking so strong from the FTW side in the last couple of rounds. And if they can carry on with this form, then yeah, this is going to be a 16-11. But as you approach the business end of this game, I feel like they're probably going to start making more and more mistakes. That's what we see on Cobblestone a lot. Maybe just one person peeking, giving away the man advantage is all it takes. But moving forward, past those smokes, a couple of players dropping early. Dixon and LRO is to take those. And see, they're playing this passive Counter-Strike once again. MLL, the last player alive, and they've almost had nothing going for them. FTW learning from their earlier mistakes, not getting too aggressive to those smokes, not getting punished by the pistols. And they're starting to open up a lead, and that's another round where they survive with 4 players left. And let's look at their money. 9,000, 8,000, 7,000. Only Justin and Dixon on low money, and that's because they're dropping, they're buying up utility in multiple round after round. They're buying utility because they're the guys throwing it first. You can see them, yeah, early on. Justin throws a Molotov out. Look, he's got rid of half his utility already, 3/4 now. So this is why they're having this maximum investment, by trying to take this real estate early in the round. AYB losing a player early as well, and it's Dixon. With the support of these nades that he's throwing, this extra cash investment is panning out in their favour because he's able to take a quick kill because of it. And when you've got a mix-up of that and the passive warps, It's a recipe for disaster. LRO goes for that peak again that we were talking about earlier, which was the risk for reward play. But this time, risk prevails and he dies 4-4 as AYB. This does give them an opening because FTW don't have all of the crossfires established. With LRO gone, it's going to create a gap in this map. And AYB, it's their job to exploit that. They know he's a B player, so going towards B now, it's going to be an open bomb site, possibly with Mantis pulling away CTs onto the A site. If he even gets a kill here, this would be huge. But Asmo dropping and the bomb being spotted. Now they know that it's a ruse. Mantis staying alive and getting the kills as well. This is a perfect lurk. And Dixon, he's going to have to make a play fast. And this bomb, oh, it's not got down just yet, but MNL has the covering fire. XCOM style, 11-12, and AYB, that's a crucial round for them. If they lose even one more, FTW is just so far ahead. Not exactly in rounds, but more predominantly in economy. They have so much money. They've got like 10,000 each. AYB have got to win 3 or 4 gun rounds in a row to even force an eco, and by which point FTW almost have 15 rounds in it. It's just a catalyst, like just a mix mash of so many different advantages that winning multiple rounds decisively gains you. The economy and momentum in CSGO is a real thing. Dixon, that didn't look like a one-way smoke on my screen, but it certainly could have been on NK's. Does drop. This is FTW taking the man advantage. They're so strong with this. I don't want to see LRO peeking to Dropper again because, as you know, AYB, this is where they find their opening pick in the previous round. Definitely something that they could do again. AYB, want to just take this one slowly, nice and slow, but here come the smokes. They're definitely going to drop into Dropper, and LRO, he's been punished again twice in a row. He needs to fall back off of Dropper this time. No, next time. He needs to not give away those advantages, but maybe FTW are in a position to punish this. They've got the Molotovs hunkered down, and Stato, the only player... Oh, Dixon as well has Molotov, so... They do have a couple of nades to really keep AYB out of this bomb site for a little longer, and Dixon going to use his. It is it isn't extinguished. That was a T Molotov that was extinguished, but Asmo finds a second, and this is the B site open. FTW throw the flashes in, but they need to get this bomb down, and it's Worms trying to sneak past as well. Oh, Stato, sorry, trying to sneak past onto this B site, and he has found a gap in the defense. So, oh, misses the shot. That looks like a sealed deal, but does find the follow-up. A recovery from him, but Asmo in the back line does chip and change him down, chop him away as Stato drops. It's only Worms left, and he's got to find this if FTW don't want to lose this advantage that they've gained themselves. The economy that they weren't towards earlier, now destroyed as Mantis finds a follow-up headshot. An AWP as well, and FTW back to ecoing. This is likely going to be a 13th round for AYB. And this is so back and forth. We were saying that FTW had a huge advantage working into the business end of this half, but they've just squandered that away. And really, LRO is probably to blame. He's given away the entry kill 2 times in a row after being a man up. And this is not a risk that they necessarily had to take in any stretch of the imagination, and it's put them back onto pistols. So if he wants to earn that real estate back, maybe getting a couple of kills with this P250 and no armor's in order, but we'll have to see, because AYB, they've been decisive at cleaning up these pistol rounds from start to finish today. When they've been playing against players with just pistols, they seem to be able to trade really effectively. But when it's FTW with the weapons, with the utility, they've been really really ahead. And this is where you've actually got to switch the favour into AYB side. FTW don't really have much money at all, so their buy is probably going to be with like a FAMAS or a UMP, as well as possibly maybe not even being able to afford an AWP. And AYB looking like they're going to just destroy now straight onto this B site. They're going to be around ahead here. Stato, the only man taking damage, and Worms, oh, he's going to drop as well. MNL. That's difficult to say. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Try saying that at home. MNL. Right, I got it now. I won't mix it up again. FTW a double AWP setup. Oh, I did say that their economy would be fairly weak, but seems to be that's not quite accurate. Stato with the AWP, he needs the AWP in his hand, but again, it's Dixon this time with a glass cannon AWP. Not favourable by any stretch of the imagination. You want armor, especially on cobblestone where you're so nadeable. And MNL drops him early as well, getting aggressive, peeking into it, and taking risks that a primary AWPer possibly wouldn't take. As AYB find this man advantage, and FTW, they've been so poor at working from behind. They've been great when they have when they're one man up, when Dixon's taking the risks with the utility, but when he's taking the risks with the AWP, not so much. 13-12 is a scoreline, obviously, and FTW, they desperately need this one, otherwise they're going to be bang out of luck and probably really behind in this game, actually, because they won't be able to afford in the next one. It'll be match point, and AYB, Nero said it earlier that he predicted that AYB would take this one home. He wasn't impressed with FTW's performance in either of the matches that they played whatsoever, and the consolidation final likely now going to be played by AYB and Squared Esports. But a couple of risks have to be taken. Worms misses that flick, but Flames quickly encroaching onto his position, does find a fade away, but Mantis burns him alive, gets that bomb down as well, and this is a great afterplant spot for AYB. They've got every angle on lockdown, and 4 versus 2, FTW, they've got to save. This AWP, this M4, and the hunt's already on, and there's the AWP, gone, dead, done and dusted. Stato drops, and it's just Dustin left. M4 dropped and the AWP picked up, but they're going to be hot on his heels. AYB have plenty of money to chase this one down, and they know that FTW, the AWP in their hands, is worth 5 AWPs in AYB's. So, can he save it? Looks like possibly not as MNL. Oh, what a shot! Justin! That was so quick! I don't even know what to say. Kenny S style. That was like those Reddit posts, just MNL peeking, or just Dustin peeking MNL. That was so quick. That was what? He obviously had a sound cue, but it was just pinpoint perfect finding that shot. Somebody Reddit that. That was so fast. On my screen, it just looked nuts. One AWP saved through, and it's placed straight into the hands of Stato. Justin not wanting to keep it, funnily enough. Then, yeah, Stato did go for that aggressive pick. Finding one there would have been absolutely massive. It would have been the man advantage. It would have been everything AYB needed. But FTW with an AWP in hand and everything else needs to get this AWP rolling if they want any chance in this, because you see their money is going to be, well, it's going to be decent. They're going to have 3,400 each, and that means that everybody's got money to buy utility, weapons, everything that they could ever dream of. 15-12 is possibly going to be the scoreline unless Static can go huge, unless one of these pistols can go ham. But Mantis looking to not let that happen. Stato does find the first though, and this really opens it up. Trying to take some pop shots on through, and here come the pistols. Mantis whiffing and whiffing, finally finding the bullets. And does find this one through. Stato with a blind shot, and Mantis does find that one, and again a triple kill. Is he going to do this single-handedly? Here come the pistols, and LRO does peek it through in a second as well. All off the back of Stato and LRO. FTW, they're back in this. 2 ecos for them to keep them in this game. This is massive, and just have a look at this economy. This is the round that really matters. Nobody has much money at all nobody has much money into this one, working into the next round whatsoever. Let's see what we can see though. FTW, the full buy, the double up setup again, didn't quite work out the last time, but Dixon, he should be playing more passive. LRO needs to be playing more passive, and you see Dixon, he gets a leg, lucky to not be dead at this point. And FTW, they don't need to take these risks. They just need to work with the CT side advantage. The Peaks advantage isn't obviously on their side, but they've got 4 Molotovs left. And with a minute left, this is really powerful. To have this many incendiary grenades, it keeps AYB out of your sight. It means that that presses HP advantage that they currently have, it could be filtered down on the push. And AYB, how are they going to get past this one? Because FTY's nade usage has been so perfect so far. And this is obviously their in-game leader saying it, like, keep your nades, keep your Molotovs. It's so good, but Dixon does drop. He was on barely any HP, so not a huge loss. LRO does find one, but here comes a spray down. The correction, Xavi finds that one, knows that Stado is here, and he does get peaked. MNL finds that one more, and a 4v1, and FTW, they're going to be facing 2 match points. And there we go. Mantis taking Worms down, and let's see what the money's like, because it cannot be good. So, possibly the final round. Stado has got the AWP in his hands, but it's greeted by a couple of pistols, just one M4 on Dixon, and yeah, this is a very weak buy. And if FTW cannot win with full buy-ups time after time, how can they possibly win with just pistols? Surely it can't happen. And AYB, this is looking strong from them. This has been such a decisive T-half, a completely different team from the team that we saw just 20 minutes ago playing CT side. And Stado, he's going to have to hit this fast shot. Mantis going to peek into him very shortly. Is he actually going to take this angle? That's a game of cat and mouse, a waiting game between these two players, but Stado, he's going to be greeted by the close angle. He's got his AWP trained on the long angle right now, going for the leg shot, so he either flicks up a little bit or flicks down a little bit, not trained on, not putting all his eggs in one basket. However, this is going to be towards the B site, and AYB, they've been so convincing, attacking B, left, right, and center. So as soon as this smoke dissipates, it's surely going to be the final push, and possibly the final push of the whole match. Here are no Molotovs greeted by FTW. They need to make this push right now. Xavi going in, but Justin, his angle's compromised. Xavi finds one as well. This could be it. AYB looking super strong. And Worms dropping as well. LRO takes one in return, but it's not nearly enough as Stado's very low and he's the only man left. 1 versus 4, and this is surely GG. With Justin AWP, this is going to be the clutch of the tournament if he makes it. I'm sure it's not going to happen. And no, Asmo through the corner of the smoke finds it. 16-13, so a close game, our first close game of the night, and that's actually, like, it's a pleasure to cast some actual good Counter-Strike, like some very close Counter-Strike as well. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. I do want to have a chat to you about a couple of quick promotions that we've got going on. We're 10% off a Sennheiser GSP 350. You also get a free stand, a free headset hanger when you use just our promotional code LEGENDS. And also NobleChairs, a black and red Epic Gaming chair. You can use Noble ELC. That's the promotional code to get a 10% discount on that as well. Those are exclusive offers. But we are going to go to a very, very short break, unless we're going to talk about the caster challenge. I think we should probably talk about the caster challenge. We've got after the match that is just coming up, Squared versus AVP. You can try your luck against me if you think you can beat me. If you see this face, do you think this is a beatable face? Do you think I'm a beatable person? Then register on ChallengeME.gg. You can use the chat command !CME to participate. It's absolutely free for your first ticket. And then you can buy additional tickets for 10 betters each. They're absolutely free. You get a betty every minute that you watch on stream. So let's say that you just watched that match. That match was quite long, probably 50 minutes. You probably just earned 50 betters. So that's an additional 5 tickets if you want to go for that one. The challenger will be picked right after the next map that's played. So stick around. And you might be playing live on stream. And if you do beat me, you win one of these skins. It's either a Stat Track Emperor 1S Decimator Factory New or Shadow Dagger Forest DD Pat. They're field tested. And subscribers have a higher chance of winning. So go subscribe, go enter that. It's absolutely free to enter if you want a chance of winning some free skins, or you just want to play live on stream, then go ahead and do that. because after the match that's coming up, Squared versus AVB, we'll have that caster challenge. And it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm a little bit nervous, but we'll see what happens. I think I'm going to win. For the meantime, we're going to go to a quick 5-minute break whilst these two teams prepare. But don't go far because Squared versus AVB is coming up very shortly. See you then.
Never gonna give you up. I'm never gonna let you go.